Be proud of how far you've come. You need to look back and see where you were a month ago. How much of a person you have changed from a month ago, 30 days ago, 4 weeks ago, because you have changed so much. Can you comprehend the person who you were 2 months ago? Remember where you were. Remember how you felt. Remember the place you were living. It is like night and day. And you need to remember that. You as an individual have become someone who is unrecognizable. You as an individual has become someone with so much grace and love and ambition and kindness towards others. And you shouldn't forget that. You should never forget how hard you fought to get where you are today. Because honestly, that would be doing a disservice for yourself. It really would. And I think one thing that we can all work on, I can work on, you can work on, we can work on, is giving ourselves enough credit. Because we as humans are very humble. We want to really just get by, continue, move on, jump to the next hurdle. And that's normal. It is, especially in a hustle culture. But at the same time, you need to remember, too, that you have changed and you have become such a better human being in the eyes of yourself. It shouldn't matter what society says or thinks of you, but only yourself. Because that is the only person and the only perspective that it matters. One of my friends, she was reading one of these books, and she told me that it really opened up her perspective of herself, that she should prioritize herself. And so, here's the example that she gave me. She told me every single week, at the end of the day, that she writes down every single compliment a teacher gives her, a friend, random stranger, any single person that gives her. She writes it down. And another one, anything good that she does, any accomplishments that she achieves, she writes it down. That is something that I think I'm going to try to adopt, because I definitely do overlook a lot of things that I do. I definitely overlook so many things because I have tunnel vision of wanting to get where I want, and I forget how far I've come. And I don't want you to do the same, because you deserve to feel proud about yourself. You deserve to have every single accolade and every single thing about you remembered about yourself, that you should remember about yourself. That's what I'm trying to get at, that you should remind yourself how amazing you are, because you genuinely are. Because no one's giving you a gold sticker anymore. We're not in kindergarten anymore. We're not in elementary school. We are adults, or we are going to be adults, if that is your perspective in your stage in life. And so you should remember that, to be there for yourself, and to try not to give yourself a hard time or beat yourself up over doing small things not perfect, because we put that pressure on ourselves enough, and we shouldn't let other people do that too. And sometimes our pressure on ourselves is already too much that no one else would expect out of us. And remember that you're only human. and that you're going to make mistakes throughout the process, and that you're going to fall on your face plant forward. And that's normal. It really is. Because no one ever in the human history that did anything big, they didn't fail, or they didn't have upsets, or they didn't have unpredictable things, or they didn't have anything go wrong, because they did. And I think one thing that makes those failures a little easier is reading those things. Like my friend, she was like, after reading every single thing that she did or accomplished that day, or anything that she did well or achieved, and at the end of the week reading that, she said, she described it that she felt like she had a super cape, that she felt like that was her motivation to keep going. And I definitely do not agree motivation is the key in life, because literally today I didn't want to go to the gym, but I still went, and it was like a fine workout. I showed up and it's fine. But sometimes you do need that little bit of motivation to get to that point. And sometimes it can be daunting, and sometimes it can be hard. And it is. It really is. But you should continue. You should continue to look back and see how far you've come. Because I was literally just thinking about this. The person I was in January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Somebody completely different every single month. Every single month, I became more outgoing, more comfortable talking with people, felt less uneasy reaching out to people, asking people how they were, starting conversations, like trying to communicate better and trying to have a conversation rather than just listening. And I think I've come to the point of trying to pat myself on the back and to see how far I've come. Because hopping from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing is good in some respects. But I feel like it's giving myself a disservice of not trying to see how far I've come. And I don't know how far you've come from when you first started watching this. And with all the things that you've been through and going through and trying to push through. And I want you to know I'm proud of you. Because no one knows the things that happen. No one knows the things and the thoughts and your feelings that you have felt and thought. And all the thoughts that you have overcome. Because you remembered you are not your thoughts. So I just want you to remember to pat yourself on the back. Because you deserve to be patted on the back, and no one else at the end of the day will do it for you. So just remember to look back, reflect, and see how far you've come as a person, as a human, and as honestly just a soul on their way of self-discovery. Food for thought.